And now back to Open Mic Friday with Mike Spence and Butter.
Welcome back. Open Mic Friday. I'm here with guest, not Butter, but Joe Dirickx. And we've been going through, I've been reading all 43 of these new priority bills during the break. Actually, I've only gone through 2 of them. Joe, this is just amazing. We should probably tell people to definitely go on the websites and start looking at these. And if they have any input they'd like to provide their state representatives, they should go ahead and do that. How would they go about doing that, Joe?
In your search window, just put pending gun legislation, California, 2013. And there'll be a number of sites you can go to. Unfortunately, the incident back at Sandy Hook was a tragedy.
Sure was.
And all these bills, in my opinion, and a vast majority of the people I associate with, agree. It's a knee-jerk reaction. They aren't going to do anything to reduce the crime rate. They're not going to stop something like Sandy Hook. Most people have never heard of Bath, Michigan. That was back in 1927. More children were killed in that incident and adults than any school incident at all, but there's no political mileage there. He blew up the school. Okay? And none of these bills are going to do anything, in my opinion, to stop somebody that has the intent of doing somebody harm from doing it.
Mm-hmm. It's a sad state of affairs nationally, especially. You see things on the news, and you just have to, your heart goes out, some of these things that are happening. But it really, the people who, of course, attend your classes here in Amador County, and most firearm owners in Amador County are law-abiding citizens, and you want these laws to reflect, common sense measures that are good for everyone, and especially the rights of our own citizenry. We actually brought a couple of firearms to take a look at in terms of showing our viewers. I'm sure they're familiar with a lot of this type of thing, but you kind of have a good example of different sized magazines, and why don't you tell us what you brought here today, Joe? Well,
the reason I brought these two is to let the public know. You would think your representatives will hold themselves to a higher standard, and if nothing else, at least try to tell the truth one time or another, okay? Mm-hmm. This right here is the infamous Uzi. Thanks to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone and action movies, this is illegal to possess in California unless you have an assault weapons permit, which I do have. This here is a Smith & Wesson Model 649. It's a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. The difference between these two guns, other than the looks, there's only one difference. That's the magazine capacity. Yet online, I can go out and I can track down a magazine that will fit this
either gun. Mm-hmm.
Either gun, large capacity. Mm-hmm. There is no difference. This is not a machine gun. It is semi-automatic pistol. Semi-automatic pistol. But thanks to the way they've been pumped in Hollywood and with our legislators' propaganda, this is illegal. Mm-hmm. If I were to discriminate against you and not hire you because of your color, religion, or anything else, I would find myself in front of the court. They're doing nothing different here.
And it's, popping one of these, this is a 10-round magazine. Mm-hmm. I have 15s from Nevada. You go up to Nevada, you can buy any size magazine. But to pop these magazines in and out, bang, 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 you know how quick I am with that, going down to my knee, but I can't get back up, unfortunately. But, you can just continue popping these 10s or 15s in just as you can use a 30. I mean, they just pop in and out so quickly that the magazine capacity is really kind of it's a confusing issue for people. I'm glad you mentioned that.
And all the gun laws, the two things I'd really like to see them focus on, one would be much stiffer penalties. Something like if you are in possession of or use a firearm during the commission of a crime, put it under federal law or something, you're going to do a mandatory 10 years, 15 years, whatever. Okay, no plea bargaining, anything else. If the courts want to plea bargain you out on the initial offense to lesser time, that's fine. But you are going to do 10 or 15 years consecutive to the sentence you got for the crime you actually committed. No ifs, ands, or buts. Another thing is the mental illness. If you check the records on all these mass shootings at the schools, movie theaters, everything else, the perpetrator has been diagnosed, unfortunately, post the event, of having some level of mental illness. And I was talking with my wife, I said, throughout our school years, we are tested periodically to see if we are at grade level. So why don't we, somewhere around 4th grade, 8th grade, somewhere in high school, have everyone take a psychological exam? Hopefully a red flag would pop up. I know it's not foul-proof, but Johnny doesn't go out in the neighborhood and kill all the cats because he hates cats.
Right.
Okay, there's something wrong there.
Something's going to trigger and show up. Mm-hmm.
You know, and then parents, a lot of them are responsible denial. They're facilitating them. You know, they, in the old days, not that old, but they used to say they take the family member and lock them in the basement. I'm not suggesting that at all. But if your child is showing signs of antisocial behavior or something, seek help for them.
Yeah, I'm not, that concerned with all my neighbors having concealed weapons permits, which they do, but it's just that person that has that lack of mental capacity and judgment, and the domestic violence issues, the things that you see in the news, and you have to wonder, there have to be some common sense efforts to get the right types of regulations, but not jumping to 43 of them immediately. I doubt you can come up with 43 good ones, but I'm sure there are probably 2 or 3 sound ones in there. And the background checks, universal background checks we've had in California, I have to, agree with the need for that. But, you have a lot of different events coming up, too, and I wanted to mention the big one that you have, and I didn't want to not mention that because it's called Top Cop. I doubt you can see that with the camera, but Top Cop is an event that you have at that private shooting range out on Highway 88. What is the name of that?
This year it's going to be held at the True Sportsman's Club. What Top Cop is, I put together a pistol competition, individual and 2-person team. I pitted all law enforcement against one another. And the event will be followed by an awards banquet, which is going to be held at the Jackson Rancheria, who happens to be one of our main sponsors. We're also sponsored by the American Legion Post 108
and we should
here.
say the Jackson Rancheria Resort.
Oh, the all-new Jackson Rancheria Casino Resort.
Absolutely correct, Casino Resort, because it's important. We have an amazing facility up there in that Grand Oak Ballroom. We have the senior citizen beauty pageant in there. That's a beautiful facility, and to have a big group, and you have a big group that's going to be attending Top Cop.
Last year we served 187 people.
Oh.
And with a final last-minute donation, we raised over $20,000. Now, all proceeds, nobody on my committee or that help out, we don't take any monies for ourselves. 100% of the proceeds go to our disabled, our wounded and disabled veterans. That's why we call it Wounded Warriors. And last year, with community support and support from the outside, we had an estimated over $10,000 worth of prizes donated. We received prizes were donated from, everyone knows Larry the Cable Guy, Jeff Foxworthy,
sure.
Gary Sinise, former Governor Mike Huckabee. We even received an item from former President George W. Bush, and the prizes are starting to come in again already this year. We hope to seat at least 200 people. If I may, I ask everyone to go to our website, which is gcfguns.com, and go to the event page, and you'll see where it says Top Cop, and that's being updated on a regular basis with more information on where the event is being held, details on getting banquet tickets, so on and so forth. And I'm really appreciative to True Sportsman for letting us hold us there this year. It's a large facility, and this year there'll be room for spectators.
Oh, fantastic! I've never been down there. It's a private club.
It's a private club, but they gave it to us for the whole day for this. And True Sportsman's Club is the, I guess you'd say, the home base for A&A shooters, the youth trap shooting club. It's a really nice facility, and they really support youth and shooting sports. It's a good club.
Well, it's GCF.com.
No, GCFguns.
Guns.com. GCFguns.com. That's Gold Country Firearms, GCF. guns.com, and they can get information on Top Cop, which is that's going to be a big event. It's a very unusual event. You have a very unusual service that you provide, Joe. And I know you're a grandfather too. You know, you've been here in Amador County. You got a lot of grandchildren. I see you
6.
See all the time at Mel's, you know, dragging them around. And I'm not there yet, but I want to make sure, you know, I thank you for taking the time out to come by and mention all these things. And I feel real safe with you, you know, with all these guns in front of me. So anybody who wants to say anything about TSPN, or just bring it on in, just come on over in front door and give me an earful.
Well, something I heard the other day, I couldn't believe. Madonna was on a news program. I guess she was being criticized because in one of her newest music videos or something, as props, she was using firearms.
I heard that. Yeah, I saw something about that.
Okay, so she was being criticized by her peers. And in this interview, she stated, a gun is an inanimate object. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. And how many times have we heard that? And it's true. I don't have any bullets, but I could beat you over the head with this, I guess, just like with your... What happened? It's not the golden mic. Where's your golden
These
mic?
are actually targets, Joe.
Where's your
Doesn't it
golden
look like a
mic?
target to you? I could probably, you could just break right over your head. But this looks like a good target, doesn't it? Don't you think we could take that out to the range and have some fun with that? But yeah, Sheriff Ryan's letter did kind of isolate the amount of homicides that take place with sharp objects, blunt objects, and you know, you hear all those things, but I just want to thank you for coming on the show.
Well,
and
you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned to more TSPN-TV programming. Hopefully that was informative for you.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.